I mean, I could say, Barbara, have been working with Robert for years. I am obsessed with, he's a Ayurvedic specialist, his wife, Melanie, and Robert, they have incredible integrity. Their products, their face and body oils, I have been completely obsessed with for the last 12 years, and credit any kind of, any of my skin looking good, although at 62, I think I need a double vata dose, but so I just love him. I love his products. And then Robert, you could kind of explain your background. And Robert's a Buddhist and has been a Buddhist for a very, very long time, and is also an author. Okay, Robert.
Well, I'll just give my background in relation to Medicine Buddha. My wife, Melanie, and I have been involved with, I guess, holistic healing from about 1973. We really began in the macrobiotic part of Europe. And during that time, while we were involved with macrobiotics, we got introduced to Ayurveda through Osho's physician by the name of Sham Singh. And at the same time, I was introduced to Tibetan medicine from a man by the name of Tom Dummer. So that was in 1974, 75. Continued to study Ayurveda and Tibetan medicine on our own, as well as training as a yoga teacher at that time. I was a yoga teacher in Boulder when there were maybe 2 yoga teachers in Boulder. It's kind of funny in terms of what Boulder is now. But our introduction to Medicine Buddha came in 1983, more formally, when the main Buddhist teacher that I had for many, many years, Khenpo Karthar Rinpoche, some of you may have known him from the Karma-Triana Dharma Chakra community in Woodstock. And Melanie and I were involved with that community for a very long time. And he said he was going to be doing a program on the Medicine Buddha, which we thought, or I thought, was going to be a study of the doshas according to Tibetan medicine and learning herbology and whatever with respect to Tibetan medicine. And when I got to that program, what we did for 3 weeks is basically learn a meditation and chant mantra for about 4 hours a day. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, plus a lot of teaching around the visualization and practice of Medicine Buddha. And the idea then was to commit oneself to fulfilling the obligation of having received that empowerment, which is to, the Medicine Buddha mantra is a mantra that is 22 syllables or 23 syllables. And the idea is that for every syllable, you commit yourself to reciting 100,000 mantras. So it's 100,000 mantras times 23, which is 2,300,000 mantras to fulfill the obligation. And your mind goes through various things when you commit yourself to doing something like that for that long a period of time, is you go through every possible emotional state that you go through when you're really trying to commit yourself to making some kind of committed change. And that is, you have like a honeymoon period of, wow, isn't this cool? Look what I'm doing. And then you start getting habituated to it. So you're not really paying attention to it. And then you start getting bored with it. And then you go, why in the hell am I doing this anyway? And then you keep on doing it, and you do it, and you do it until eventually it just is in your marrow. It no longer is anything which has anything to do with your normal sense of emotionality and why you commit yourself to anything in a positive or negative way. You realize that all those are just forms of emptiness. And that really at some point what you discover in the practice is what is transforming you, and it is taking you through your normal bag of human tricks to get you there. But the goal is to commit yourself to doing it, and that's what happens. It's the idea is that you have the idea of what in Buddhism is called a yidam. And a yidam is that basically where a hook meets a ring, and there's a connection between the two. And those things remain forever locked together. And so I would say since 1985, 86, that has really been the background and everything that Melanie and I have ever learned about healing. And it is, according to tradition, the basis of every form of healing we know on this planet. If you think of any system that has an understanding of elements and the interactions of nature, all those are explained within the context of the medicine Buddha. And therefore the idea is that regardless of whether you practice Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, you become a Native American shaman, or you practice the Corvindera tradition of South America. It doesn't really matter. What you're going to find is when you use the mantra of the medicine Buddha as kind of like a way in which you break through what is really the core of what it's about. And really the core of it is not that you become a phenomenal herbalist, although you might become one, or know all about there is about food or gems or whatever aspect of healing you're interested in. Usually what gets us in the way of any study that we endeavor to get involved with is basically what in Buddhism is called the three poisons of ignorance, attachment, and aggression. So we have ignorance of what it is, and then we have it with that ignorance. Usually what happens is we have some kind of idea as to what we think it's about. And so then what we do is we decide we're going to study or we're going to learn something. And oftentimes what mostly gets in our way of any study of healing is our ego concept of what that's supposed to look like, or how we're supposed to be in the midst of that, or how we're supposed to look in the midst of that. And then what ends up happening is, along with that attachment to our preconceived ideas and what we think is supposed to be the stuff that healing system is about, we develop, there's a Tibetan phrase, it's called pekyu, which means basically professional jealousy and anger. So what happens is we get irritated with anybody that has a different interpretation, anybody that has a different teacher, anybody that says they may know something about that which we're studying, and what we're studying doesn't say what they're saying this, so they must be full of it, on and on and on. And so what it is really is that the medicine Buddha practice is designed to cut through those three mental poisons. Because it's going to be those three mental poisons which, if you apply it to medicine, if you apply it to astrology, if you apply it to science or anything, those three poisons are going to get you sick. They're going to give you a really sickening interpretation of reality. That's what's going to happen. And you'll get sick by it, and people will get sick of you, on and on and on. So really, first and foremost, the medicine Buddha practice is, in order for you to understand the way things are, in order for you to understand your natural world and understanding how your natural world is really available to you as a transformational tool for which you should be grateful and for which you should strive to protect and enhance, that what you first need to really do is cut through those three poisons. So that's the first prescription of the medicine Buddha, so to speak. And everything after that is just a matter of realizing, let's say you're dealing with your angst about COVID, or you're dealing with COVID, or you're dealing with whatever kind of illness you have. And what I like to emphasize is that any Buddhist Dharma practice is not intended as a supplication to be healed by something from the outside. That's not what a Buddha is about. You can venerate a Buddha, you can respect a Buddha, you can want to emulate a Buddha, but you don't come to a Buddha begging for favors. You don't come to a Buddha asking them to take something away. What you ask for is the inspiration to basically be able to be lifted out of your own confusion, so that you then can make choices that allow you basically to save yourself.
I love that. That's what it's all about.
And it is, I mean, it's very interesting. Recently, Melanie and I have been reading a journal that's put up by one of our friends. The journal is Buddhism Today. And one of the teachers is describing, and you listen to the language or the description of the iconography or the kinds of offerings that are made, and you hear these very lofty descriptions. And in some ways, they fly in the face of the perpetual version of a world that likes to teach you that being cynical is cool, that cynical is where it's at, and that kind of softness and openness is wimpy. In fact, what I would say is it takes tremendous bravery to embrace tenderness. It takes a tremendous amount of bravery to open yourself up to acknowledge when you're fixated and when you just want to let go of those fixations which you know torment you.
Wait, so what is, sorry, go back to the fixations that torment you. So what's the Buddhist way of getting rid of those fixations that torment you?
I think you have to, well, the first thing is to acknowledge that you're tormented by them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the first step. I mean, there's got to be an acknowledgement. And the thing is, the more deeper you go into, or the deeper you go into a practice, the more of those little obsessional hooks you discover. That basically there's layer upon layer of these fixations as to what we think it's about. And so the idea is you just keep on going, and you keep on wanting to peel away those various layers. And there was a group in New York area, a guy, it was a jazz group, man who ran it, his name was Carl Berger. And his wife Ingrid used to have this song which says, "The confusion is endless, and so is the freak show." And it's like that. It's endless. And I mean, I think what's relevant to that is that, and I was thinking about that today, because right now what we're experiencing is that we, I mean, some people have a short-term idea of quote unquote going back to the way things were, which isn't going to happen. It's not going to be that way.
It can't.
Okay. All right. No one's going to be able to get on the Disney cruise line in the future. That's just how it goes. But we don't know how deep this is going to go. Now, if you're looking at the historical predictions of the Buddha, we've just begun to enter into the beginning of what it's going to look like. We're just entering into the beginning of it. Now, that might seem like a depressing thought if you're taking it from a conventional point of view. But when you put it in the perspective of Dharma, when you put it in the perspective of transformation, what you could say is we are perpetually reminded of the need to keep on practicing. Okay, rather than think that, okay, congratulations, now that I've done my 2,300,000 medicine Buddha mantras, I now get a, do not pass go or whatever, do not stop, keep on going into some kind of pure land and never return. That you don't have to deal with your scratchy throat. You do not have to deal with the ravages of age or whatever they are, because now you've done your 2,300,000 mantras, and guess what? Here we are. Here we are. And in that way, I think what happens is the more you connect to those practices in your life that really show you what I describe as that ecology of oneness, that universal and endless connection to all that there is, and that really we have this enlightened capacity, and that as we connect with that enlightened capacity, there is a greater lightness of being, which we then can hopefully apply to ourselves to help us pull ourselves out of our own confusion and morass, but also hopefully be useful for other people. And that the more you continue to do it, and the more resources you develop, the faster the path becomes as you begin to apply what you learn to everybody else. And that's in keeping with the idea that as human beings, we're actually altruistic, because we see that we're happier overall when we see people around us happy. When we're just happy and everybody's miserable, that happiness we have goes away pretty quickly. But when we see, our dog well fed, or our kids playing happily, or our partners being in a good mood, and we see that what we do supports that good mood, that means a lot more to us. Initially, we think that's not true, but in the long run, and actually deep down, we know that that is true. So, was that enough of an explanation?
Yes, I think we're good.
Okay, all right. So let me explain what we're going to do in terms of this meditation. This particular meditation, which I think I've sent Barbara now the attachment for it. If I haven't, I will send it to her. It is a meditation that was approved by my teacher, Kunzik Shomer Rinpoche, many, many years ago. And it follows a standard way in which Buddhist sadhana practices work. And the way in which this works is we set an intention that we want to see healing happen for ourselves and others. We think about inviting into our lives that particular energy, which will do it. We, in Buddhist terms, take refuge in that, which means that we're basically binding ourselves to the idea that we want that healing energy to be what we experience, and that what we're radiating to others, we then use in a Buddhist tantric form. We're using the use of sound. In the beginning was the word, right? That's the whole point of mantra. In the beginning was the word, and the word was Om. And the beginning of all Buddhist mantras is Om, you know? Yin, Yang, and Qi. That's what it is. Bringing those things together. Om is the seed syllable of all the Buddhas. And then what you have is then the prescription of whatever Buddha you're going to be working with. So for example, in this case, the mantra of the Buddha is
Om Mani Padme.
Hello. All right. So did we typed it into the chat before? Is it still there, or does it get wiped out every time you go to a chat?
Gets wiped out, but if you tell me, I will.
Okay, let's go through it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to repeat it, and you can type it out, or you can write it out, whatever, because we're going to be repeating this again and again and again. It begins te ya ta.
But I don't even spell that.
Te, T-A-Y, ya, Y-A, ta, T-A. Then om, be, kanze.
Hey, Robert, do you want to type this? Because I'll drive.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's going to be hard for me to type it, but that's okay.
I'm happy to do it, but I just need the spelling. I'm so sorry.
It's going to be easier for me to do it.
All right.
And then what we're going to do.
And next time I'll just have it up.
Yeah, you'll just have it up.
And everybody knows that when we do this, it's good to go on mute. Especially me with my dog who's grumbling. Hi, Jack.
Om Mani Padme Om.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, brother. I'll repeat the three poisons several times because you only said it once.
Ignorance, attachment, and aggression.
Ignorance, attachment, and aggression.
Yeah. Basically, we don't understand. We like our version of what we think is going on, and we get annoyed with anybody who disagrees.
Thank you. If you get a point, when we spin the discus clockwise or counterclockwise, at some point mention something about that, just the spinning of the discus.
Hold on.
I'm holding. I've been up for 3 days. We had the Gayatri Mantra was chanted for 24 hours all over the world.
Was that with David Pamal?
It was done all over the world, starting from India for 24 hours. And I stayed up from 11, well, I was up for 2 days before it anyway. But I'm totally energized and happy and at peace. And it's so much fun to see you guys sharing the gifts of the Buddha. Enough from Jack. I'm going back into silence.
Okay. So that's the mantra. Now, can I, at this point, You can see that, okay? And can I share my screen?
Yeah, let's try it. No, wait. Yikes. Well, it's up on the chat.
All right, can you see it now?
Yeah.
No, can you see
Everybody
my
see it?
screen?
Oh, your screen?
Yeah.
I just see your name up there. I don't, when I put share screen, it goes to, oh, here. Now you can share.
All
Now,
right, can you see it? What do you see on the screen now?
just your name.
All right, let me just try it again. All right.
Now I see your
All right.
face.
All right, so what I'm going to do, let me just see. I'm going to get rid of this. Can you make it so I can share my screen?
Yeah, I did. So now
All right,
multiple.
hold on a second. All right, so I'm going to go to my screen. Do you see my screen?
Well, you have to push share. I see your name, but you have to push share screen.
Turn
Okay.
your camera on.
What?
Turn your camera on. Your camera is not on at the moment if you're just sitting your name.
No,
No,
all you
you can
need
see
to
me.
do, Robert, just go down to share screen and pull up what you want to pull up.
All right.
That should work.
Does that work?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we see it in the chat. We see the Taya. We see that.
Do you see an image of a Buddha?
No.
Nope. Yes, when I close my eyes.
Well, that's good.
Do you want me to pull up the medicine Buddha?
Yeah. Put up a medicine Buddha on your screen, Barbara.
Okay, let me
And
see.
then I can just talk and we'll go through the meditation because I don't want to waste anybody's time right now.
I know, now I just have to see if I can share screen. Let me see something. Hold on.
You should be able to find a medicine Buddha.
I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, just pick one of the images. That's fine. The one that's, yeah, choose that one where your cursor is.
Yeah, I clicked on it. Let me just see here.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just have lots of medicine Buddhas. That's where I was. Okay?
Wait, I
So,
need to go back. Wait a sec. Okay, so whatever. This is, wait, you're floating around in space. Hold
so
on.
you can still hear me, right?
Yes.
That's fine. But
We
you
can
see
hear
Barbara's
you.
screen.
We can hear you and we see the Buddha.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
So I'd like everybody to just get comfortable.
But wait, I have to get back to the Zoom so I can mute myself here. So wait a sec. Oops.
And we're all on mute. We're going to mute ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We should all mute ourselves when you're giving the meditation. I'm
Yeah.
muting myself now.
I have to get back to,
Barbara, I think you're fine if you just go to the corner where you are and just hit your mute button somewhere.
I don't see myself anymore because somehow
Let's just assume that your
I
dog
got
is
it. I
part
got it. Wait a sec. I got it. It's fine.
All right.
Wait a second. Oh, Lord. So sorry.
It's okay. Let's just, I mean, if we get your dog, we get your dog. I have no problem with this.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Yep.
So if everybody is just comfortable, what I'd like you to do is just have it so your tongue is resting behind your top front teeth. Your back is away from the back of the chair. If you feel comfortable, if you're sitting in a more meditative pose on the ground, that's fine. but sitting in a manner which is calm and yet focused, become aware of the formless passage of air as it comes in and passes from the tip of your nose. All distractions that arise in the mind are released with every natural exhalation. As we settle down into a state of centered awareness, we take some moments to appreciate what we have here and now. These are called the four thoughts that turn the mind to spirituality. We first recognize the preciousness of our human birth, where we have the time, circumstances, and capacity to learn from, practice the methods of, and experience the blessings of enlightened beings. Looking around us in the world and the difficult circumstances others have or experience, we appreciate how fortunate we are. Second, although this time, circumstance, and capacity is with us now, all can change in an instant and will certainly be gone at the moment of our own death. There are no guarantees in this life other than the fact that no matter how stable this life seems, it will pass and we will go. Appreciating impermanence, we resolve to use our human birth wisely. Third, we appreciate that the causes and conditions that give us this opportunity and will inevitably lead to their disappearing are the direct result of our own previous actions. Ultimately, we are the authors and masters of our own fate. We blame no one else for what we face and commit ourselves to taking responsibility for how we think and act in the moment. It is our thoughts and actions now that will determine what we shall have to face in our future. And finally, appreciating that we are masters of our own destiny and that our true potential is to be as a Buddha. We recognize the futility in placing any ultimate value on material and worldly pursuits and commit ourselves to a practice of spiritual awakening for the benefit of all. And now, before us, out of the expanse of a clear turquoise blue sky, and just above the horizon, there arises the perfect form of the enlightened healer, the medicine Buddha. shimmering with the deep, rich color of crystalline lapis lazuli. He sits in the diamond posture, bearing all the marks and signs proclaiming his enlightened stated capacity to heal all afflictions. His rich, thick hair is tied up in a top knot, and the simple maroon robes of a monk cover his powerful and dynamic body. His right hand rests on his right knee, and between his thumb and index finger, he holds the stem of the Aurora, the king of medicinal plants. His left hand rests in his lap, holding a bowl filled with healing elixir. He sits radiant on a lotus throne supported by 8 mighty white lions. Having overcome all conditions that obstruct the realization of his full potential, his gaze is triumphant yet kind. He is as real as anything, yet as insubstantial as everything, like a rainbow. So allow your mind's eye just to see this above the horizon. Whatever you can hold in your mind, whether it's the Buddha's eyes, the entire body of the Buddha, whatever part of the image you see, you just try to keep your mind focused on that image as best you can. And as you look upon this medicine Buddha, or whatever aspect you can see in your mind's eye, allow yourself to feel connected and inspired by what you see before you. And feeling confident in this unlimited capacity of the blessing and ability to heal, we think or say, and I'm going to say this for us, to you, teacher, fully aware master and adept, the fully awakened Lord of healing and King of lapis lazuli light, I bow and open myself up to the healing power of your blessing. To you, teacher, fully aware master and adept, the fully awakened Lord of healing and King of lapis lazuli light, I bow and open myself up to the healing power of your blessing. To you, teacher and fully aware master and adept, the fully awakened Lord of healing and King of lapis lazuli light, I bow down and open myself up to the healing power of your blessing. In a moment, we'll begin to recite the Medicine Buddhist mantra, the archetypal vibrations that help to eliminate all ignorance, attachment, and aggression, the 3 poisons that are root of all sufferings, be it physical, mental, or spiritual. We recite this mantra as many times as we can, and as we do, we see the Medicine Buddha's radiance, a rich, deep blue light, grow, reaching as far as we can imagine to all directions in space, bringing healing energy to each and every being it touches. And first we see this light go to friends and relatives for whom we are concerned, then everyone in general, and finally even to those we have difficulties with. We include everyone in this blessing of radiance and healing. So if you want to look in the chat box, if you haven't, memorize the Medicine Buddha mantra. And we're going to start chanting it initially all together And at some point, what I'll do is I'll ring a bell, and we'll then just begin to go at the speed or sound, high or low, fast or quick, whatever it is. The most important thing for you when you recite this mantra is really feel and hear every syllable that you're saying. So there's a particular tune, and I'll try and do this tune as best I can right now. And we'll just go at this pace for a little while, and then we'll, again, like I said, we'll go into a different speed, wherever you feel comfortable. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. If you want to unmute yourselves right now, that way we can hear each other. Or you can unmute everybody while we're doing this, Barbara.
Okay.
Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Is everybody unmuted? Make sure everybody is unmuted.
Are you guys
Te
unmuted?
ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, Rajat Samudgate Soha. Te ata om bekanze, Bekanze Mahabekanze Rajat Samudgate Soha Teyata Om Bekanze 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 Bekanze Mahabekanze Rajat Samudgate Soha. Now say it loud or quickly or softly, whatever you want to do it. Teyata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Rajat Samudgate Soha. 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 Teyata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama get rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama back and rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to mama back and rather than my cat is out. Dear don't begin to begin to ma bekanze rajet samugati soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze rajet samugati soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha teata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze Ratzit samugate soha.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Not now. As we bring the recitations of mantras to a close, the medicine Buddha before us comes closer and closer, dissolving into us through the crown of our heads. We now rest in a state where the illusion of separation between the medicine Buddha and ourselves vanishes. And we remain in that state for as long as we can. When we recognize that our minds have become discursive once more, we instantly see our body, mind, and spirit as being none other than the medicine Buddha. And with this view, we commit ourselves to behave in all matters as the medicine Buddha. And we dedicate our merit of doing this meditation in the Diamond Way tradition by saying aloud or to ourselves, by practicing in this manner, may I quickly attain the state of the Medicine Buddha. And having done so, may I establish each and every being I meet into that same state. And with this new awareness of being inseparable and none other than the Medicine Buddha right now, in our own time, just focus right now. Focus your intention right now in that state of being Medicine Buddha. And just feel that intention to see all as the Medicine Buddha as a blue light. And that blue light comes out from your heart and it goes forward in space to people that are and beings that are in front of you. It shines out behind you to beings that are behind you. The light radiates from your sides of your heart and goes to the right and to the left. And it goes above and below you. And this light keeps on expanding, this deep blue, radiant, crystalline light energy. It's just sparkling light. And you see it stretching out into the room that you're in. You see it stretching out through your home, going beyond the walls of your home to the outside environment. You see this radiant energy going into all the air and all the space. We have this image of this little virus floating around in space, this ball with suckers on it, all over the space. And you want to imagine that this blue light is just transforming this little bug in terms of little Medicine Buddhas. And not only is every one of these bugs a Medicine Buddha, but every little sucker on that ball is a Medicine Buddha. And that Medicine Buddha is going to go out and do whatever it's going to do, but it's going to do it with this healing intention. And we see this healing intention in every aspect of what we see in nature. We see it in our water, we see it in our food, we see it in our relationships. There's not one thing that is not touched by this blue radiant energy that transforms everything into Medicine Buddha light. You see it going into your computer. You see it going through the Zoom community. You see it going through the virtual world and the real world, the imagined worlds. You just allow this deep blue Tiatom Bekanze Bekanze Ma Bekanze Radzit Samagati Soha just radiate out everywhere. It's just vibrating everything. And as you see yourself as Medicine Buddha in a Medicine Buddha universe, slowly and in your own time, begin to move your body about, become aware of the space that you're now in. And open your eyes. I wondered what that squeaking wheel was, and it's Jack doing a prayer wheel, which is great. It's kind of like the mouse that keeps on going. Thank you, Jack.
Blessings.
Thank you, Robert.
So any questions from that or any thoughts?
Yes. Am I unmuted? Do you hear me?
Now you can ask a question, Jane.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Oh,
No,
God.
that's okay.
What do you feel when you're chanting those things?
What are you feeling when you're chanting those things?
I'm feeling self-conscious and awkward because I don't know what it means. And I also can't help, I feel like I'm at somebody's bar mitzvah. So, you know, yours actually. And then I have to get over
You
that.
would have been welcome at my bar mitzvah.
Thank you. But I feel like there's a should, or there's something to attain to feel outside of oneself, which I'm not there. So I
Well, I
wonder.
mean, all right. So, Jane, let's look at it this way, and this is why I wrote the book, The Ecology of Oneness. I mean, the reality is this: is that we are all caught in a paradigm where we have a duality. We all do. We have that duality, and we give it different names, and some of them are whatever world, they're Hindu world, Buddhist world, Jewish world, whatever it is. And that separation makes us feel like we should do something. And a lot of what we're looking at is we're allowing something to work within us.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what Sanskrit is an archetypal language. Let's put it this way. I'm going to put it in real crass terms. Let's say, Jane, you're making love. Okay? You're making love, and whoever you're with, they look at you very sincerely and they say, I love you. And then in the middle of them making love with you and saying, I love you, you say to them, well, what exactly do you mean by love? Kind of kills the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think I've probably done that, but all right.
Okay, so it's like that. It's like that. The idea is that the mantra, a friend of mine, Lama Ola, said that a mantra puts a virus in your neuroses programs.
Good one.
It just works on you.
Mhm.
It just works on you. Like the word love. We notice, for example, I mean, this is the work of Dr. Emoto in terms of words. We know that when you say the word love to water, water turns on puts on this really beautiful shape. If you say hate or terrible to water, water gets all crumpled. So we know that sticks and stones will break your bones and names will always hurt you, or names can transform you. So in that way, Sanskrit is a very, very conscious language of you being able to find the love inside yourself in various ways. And in the case of the Medicine Buddha, the love that you are trying to access is that capacity to be able to heal yourself. So although every mantra can be translated, the translation of the mantra doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right,
It really doesn't.
right.
I understand.
It's
a-
just the vibe. It's just the
structure.
vibe. Yeah, it's just the vibe.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
But Robert,
Okay.
there's two things that I love that the mantra puts a virus in the neuroses program. But whether it's the Maha mantra or the Medicine Buddha mantra, these are certain vibrations. They're sacred sounds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's that vibration that tends to interrupt these insane brain patterns.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is why, for example, when I'm out and I mentioned this last week, and let's say, for example, someone that's kind of delirious walks up to me and they're just doing babble, okay? They're not going to hear anything I'm saying. What I need to do is just give them vibration more than anything. Now, what exactly are you talking about? You're frustrating me because I can't understand you. It's like, forget it. They're talking rubbish. That's what's going through their heads. They are tormented by what's going through their heads and trying to answer whatever that's being said in their head is not really going to solve anything. So I might as well just give them the vibration of healing love. So I'll just say, Te atom bekanze bekanze, ma bekanze radha samagati soa, or Jack could say, Umani peme home to someone, and they're not going to wonder, what did you just do? Or what did you just say to me? That's not even going to come in to their heads. But something is going to shift in that what we've done is we have blasted their molecules with love energy. I don't care what their conceptual brain is doing. I want the vibration of Teaton Bekanza Bekanza Ma Bekanza Razit Samagati Soha to penetrate in through their pores. I don't care that their brain doesn't get it.
Right, right. I felt I stayed with your tune and your pace the whole time when you
Yeah.
were off doing your thing, and I just loved it because I never lost it. And at the end, I was kind of exhilarated, but in a very spacious, buzzy way. And I had a sensation on the right side of my left side of my head, right above my ear. There was just a sensation there. So anyway, I enjoyed it, and I kept it up the whole time with my own pace and that lovely tune. So thank you. I loved it.
Wonderful. That is, by the way, I didn't invent that tune. That tune is a very, very traditional tune.
It's very nice and very easy. I love it. And it was
Yeah,
so
it
much
is. It's
easier
very,
this
very
week.
easy.
My God, last week I had trouble. This week I buzzed right through.
It's that the last line, Robert, after Maha Bekenze. Can you just say that really slow?
Radza samud kate soha.
But say the
Ra,
first. Ra,
za,
za.
sa, mud, kate soha.
Got it. So basically, yeah, you really can't.
Yeah, Shira.
I just want to give it up to so much gratitude. That was so profound again. And I really had a deep, deep, deep healing of my heart and an opening of my heart. And I am truly blown away. I'm just blown away. This is such a blessing that you're helping share with us that that this healing love is so right here. I mean, it is just the most transcendent, transformative, profound experience. I feel deeply grateful and blessed. Thank you so much. Amazing.
You're welcome. And let's keep on expanding the circle.
Yeah.
I really like to see.
So, Robert, send me.
Oh, and Jack had a question. Just a question.
Just before she said what she said, I hear the mantra as taking me out of my mind and resonating with my heart.
Awesome.
That's how I experience it. Whether it's the Gayatri mantra that I just did for 24 hours all over the world, and I'm totally awake and in gratitude, or what we're sharing right now, it all takes us out of the mind and resonates with the heart to share that love that each and every one of us is.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
I think also it's so important right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Barbara, what do you want to say?
I said it's so important right now, and just basically, please, everybody, it would be great to expand this community. So when we send out the next date, Robert, which is up to you, if you could tell people, because the more people, the bigger it's that group energy. So the bigger the group, the more potent the vibration.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, maybe when there's when it certainly comes to the time of the mantra, it's really much better to have everybody unmuted, and let's just go for it. And then the next time what we'll do is, now that you maybe save on your computer that particular page of all those Buddhas, so you can just pick it up when you're there. And then the other thing is, if I can get on a couple of minutes before, I'll make sure that the mantra is typed into the chat so everybody has it from the beginning.
So as
That
far
way
as
we don't waste any time.
Yeah, I agree, and we could just kind of go right into it. So I just have when do you want to do it again?
Soon.
How about in a half hour?
About a half an hour.
Can I ring? Barbara, can I ring this bell that
Yes, Jack,
resonates
ring
for-
your bell, baby, ring your bell.
This bell I ring day and night. And in 77, my second trip to India, they were chanting all day, the Vedic chants. And the last chant of the day was Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. That's still in my heart today. This is 1977. It resonates in my heart today. And through the day and night, as I live in my little space capsule here in the Catskills, I ring this bell, and this bell resonates forever. And the essence of that statement is, may all the beings in all the worlds be happy and at peace.
Yeah.
May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and at peace. And Barbara knows this bell because I've rung it for years at the Each One Teach One where we met. And it resonates forever. It just doesn't stop, just like me. I don't stop talking. I talk too much. No, anyway. But it's just a joyous gathering us all,
Yes.
quieting the
I will-
mind and resonating with the heart.
Thank you, Jack. And
And actually, Jack, what I'll say is this, is that that particular mantra is one of my most favorite of David Premalami-Ten's. I mean, I just love that mantra. So it's just a certain quality of sound to it. So thank you.
Mhm.
thank you, everybody, for being here, because that's what makes it. So, all right, well, I will send Robert a email for another date, and then you guys will know it'll go out, and just tons of gratitude for everybody here right now.
Can I ring
It'll
the bell?
probably be within by about the second week of September. That's probably when it'll be.
Okay, well, send me the date, Rob.
Okay. And this Monday, we'll continue doing Monday at this time.
Yeah, do you guys want to do it earlier? Like, do you want to do it at 5? You like 6 o'clock is good?
Works for me. Works for me. Barbara, if we want to
Okay.
bring more people in, should we contact you with emails, or how should we do that? Because I know some people would like to join.
Oh my God, everybody should join. Just send them the flyer. There's
Oh,
no,
I see. To go ahead and
there's
forward,
no
copy it, forward it.
protocol. All they do is click on the Zoom and bam,
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, gotcha.
please, that would actually make this.
Make it easier. Okay,
No, it'll just be, I think that's what we all want. Thank you, Robert.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See y'all later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Aw, such a sweetie.
Hi, guys. Hi, Kira. Kim. Hi,
Thank
Jack.
so much. So much.